everybody. Welcome to RPM, Rock and Pop Mandolin, your site for learning classic rock, pop, and even international songs on the mandolin. My name is Mike DeJong, and in this video, we are looking at an international song, I guess a traditional Italian song called Tarantella Napoletana. My apologies to any Italians out there for mispronouncing the name of the song, but it's a really fun little tune on the mandolin and really gets your fingers moving. It's a lot different than the other songs that I've done on this channel, but that's all right. It's a pop classic from Italy, so let's learn that. And I've gotten out my European mandolin to play this song. Now, this is not an Italian mandolin. This one comes from Portugal. And one of the big differences, it doesn't have the bowl back like they do in Italy. The Italian mandolins have a bowl back, but this one is really cool as well. And I think it's a little more of the traditional sound, the traditional European sound than my regular mandolin. So that's why I tried this song with it. Hope you enjoyed that. But first, before we get into the lesson, if you're new here, thanks very much for checking out the channel. We really appreciate all of your support, but don't hesitate to hit that little red subscriber button down there in the lower right-hand portion of your screen. And of course, if you are a returning subscriber, thanks very much for coming back. But again, check out all those links down below. Some of them could really help your mandolin playing, including the link to my RPM video lesson series. It's still there and still $29.99. Almost 100 people now have signed up for that. And also down below, you can find a link to my Sweetwater and my Amazon affiliate links in case you want to buy strings or straps or other things. There's also a link to my mandolins here. This one from Portugal, from the Porto Guitarra Shop in Porto, Portugal. You can get the link to that one if you want to pick up one of these beauties. There's also a link to my Johansson mandolin down below. Finally, if you're looking for tab, especially for this song, tab will really help you to follow along with what I'm doing. So go over to my Patreon page, sign up there, and you can access over 100 tabs for mandolin songs, many of them exclusive that you can't find anywhere else on the net. All right, that's my Patreon page for Rock and Pop Mandolin. But that's enough business. Let's take a look at this fun Italian traditional classic, Tarantella Napoletana, for mandolin here on RPM. All right, let's take a look at this Italian classic, Tarantella Napoletana. It's in the key of A minor to start off with, so we'll do that. And it starts off with this little... All right, what's that? Well, that's just, you're just jumping back and forth between these two little double stops here. So you got the second fret of your D string, third fret of your A. So basically it's just the upper portion or the middle portion of your A minor chord, right? If you put your A minor chord, if you do your A minor chord like this. So I'm just going, so I'm jumping up to that next double stop, which is at the third fret here and the fifth fret. All right, it's just the middle two strings for this opening lick, like that, and it just jumps back and forth. It goes, right? And on that last one, if you feel like pulling in that A minor chord, you can. So 2, 2, 3, so like that, but you don't have to. You can just stick with that, those middle strings like that. All right, and then next we're going to that cool little riff that goes... Right? What is that? Well, that's all a little A minor pattern, starting with that open E string and the A note up there, the fifth fret of your E string. So, right? And you can do this all with downstrokes if you want, or up and down strokes. It doesn't really matter. I'm kind of doing a combination of up and down strokes there. So, okay, so slowly. So I'm jumping over to the first fret there, and then I'm doing a little hammer-on to the third fret. So, you got that? Okay. Okay, and then you're doing a little hammer-on here. So you're going... That's open E, first fret, open, and then fifth fret there on the A string. All right, so from the beginning, Okay. Okay, and I'm using a combination of hammer-ons and pull-offs here, and not every version of this song does that. I mean, I've heard versions of the tune going... You know, I've heard versions of it like that, but I like to do those little hammer-ons and pull-offs. So here we go, again, from the beginning. Okay, and then... So once you go down to that fifth, now you're going to go... Right, so you're going to go fifth, 7. Right, like that. So fifth, 7, fifth, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, open. So once again... Right, all the way down to that A string there. So you're basically just walking down an A minor pattern here. Once again, I'll slow this. All right, so that's that opening motif, and it's repeated. They do it again one more time. Then they go into... Okay, this is a bit tricky. It's off that A string. Again, you're utilizing some of those A minor notes there, but you're also pulling in a 7th note here of the 6th fret, all right, on your D string there. I'll show you where that comes in. So start off with this. So you're going open 2, 3. So like... So 5, 3, 2. Can you get that? And then you're gonna do this. You're gonna... So you're going 3, 2, open, and then that 6th fret that I mentioned on the D string, and back to the A. So you can either use your pinky finger there or your 3rd finger, whatever you want, right? So, again, to do that, see? Right? Okay, now the second time through, he goes a bit higher in the register. He goes... Okay, so that's the second time through. So you're climbing up this time in the register. So what are we doing there? So open 2, 3, 2, 3, 5. Right? 5, 3, 5. Then open 5, open 5, open. Then 1, open 5. Like that, really slowly. Right? So 1, open 5. And that same closing pattern there as the first part of it goes, right? 3, 2, open, 6, open, 1, 2, open. So let's do that pattern again. And repeat it. There you go. Those are the first 2 patterns of this song. Okay, and then after that, they go back to the... They basically repeat that parts, both of those parts that I've just shown you, the beginning part and then the secondary part, until they go to the bridge of the song. Now, the bridge is really cool. It goes... It's a key change. You're changing keys to the key of C now here, all right? So you're going... Okay, so what's that? Well, you're going... So from the 5th fret, you start off at the 5th fret of your D string. So So 5th open, 2, 3, 2, 3. And then from there, you're kind of jumping to that open E string there. So, and you're catching that 3rd fret there on your E string, all right? So it's a little tricky, like that. So like this. That's open, 3, open. So to that G note, that 3rd fret of your E string, okay? So slowly. And then you're going to do this again. You're going to go, right? And then you're going to go hammer-ons and pull-offs again there. So 3, 5 to 3 to 1, right? Then 1, 3, 1, open. So like this. Okay, slowly. All right, and the second part now is really tricky. You gotta go. Okay, you're almost doing the whole C scale, but you're just starting on a B note here. So you're going here, and there's one note different too. It goes, right? You're going to that 2nd fret now, because that's over a G chord, right? Okay, so that's the first part. Now the second part. And then, so that comes down from the 7th fret to the 5th, 3rd, 1, open, 5, 3. So, okay, so one more time through this pattern. Slowly. Like that. You can also do it like, if you wanted to do it like that, but I find it's easier to do it like that. Okay, let's look at the chords in the song now. So the chords are basically, okay, that's the first part over that part or underneath that part. So you're going A minor to D minor, A minor to D minor, then E7 back to A, E7 back to A minor. Okay, so A minor all in there, not A. So your A minor chord, of course, is 2, 2, 3. And then I'm doing a D minor here. I'm just dropping or moving this finger up to there and then bringing in my pinky like that to make a D minor chord. So that is 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 5th fret. So what am I doing there? Well, I'm dropping down for the last two to that E7 chord, which is 1st fret there, open D, and 2nd fret of the A. So that's an E minor or E7 chord there. All right, so you're going. Right, and you really want to hit that rhythm really in a staccato way, like. Right, and one thing I should note right now that I didn't mention before is this song is in kind of an unusual time. It's in 6/8 time. All right, so you want to kind of feel that 6/8 rhythm. It's okay. The next part is really tricky here. It's very fast chords. It goes. So again, check out the tab that I have for you. It's really much easier for you to follow along with these chords than it is for me to explain it here. But suffice it to say is you're just jumping back and forth between that A and the D minor, the A minor to the D minor. But this time you're only doing 2 beats. Then to the E7, A minor. All right, I'm looking at my chord chart over there. So you're just going back and forth from the A minor to the D minor, and then you're utilizing that E7 in there, and then back to the A minor. Check out the chord diagrams and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, the final chord pattern is over that bridge part. It's... So it's basically just C to G7. And I'm using a C chord here, 5th fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, right? I'm using that closed C chord. Then I'm going to a G7 chord, which is the 4th fret here, or your G, 3rd fret, and 5th fret there of your A. So I'm going... So mostly on the C, 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 G, C, 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 G. And of course, that's a G7 in there, not a G chord, G major chord. So one more time. Right, that's the bridge part. Then, of course, you're back to the... You're back to that part again. All right, that's it. That is Tarantella Napoletana. Hope you enjoyed learning that and hope you enjoy playing it. Thanks very much for tuning in to RPM once again. We really appreciate your support. And again, check out all those links down below if you have a chance. Thanks for watching RPM.